Well, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to the channel. We are greeted today with one of the game's greatest games. I remember this back in GT5, GT6. This was just iconic for me as one of the cars. We've done already a number of iconic cars from the game. We've done the 917 Living Legend, we've done the Tom's Castrol, Supra, but this one is the one that sticks out for me. I remember this being one of the cars I wanted to attain, and I wonder what it's like to now go and grind this at Sardegna. Will it be able to earn the credits? Can we get it to a tune that's perfectly decent to be able to drive, to be reliable, to be consistent, to be able to win the race and do it in a comfortable amount of time so that we can go and live our life comfortably, take a break, get a drink, etc. and then get back to it. We need to be able to run this 4 or 5 times to be able to generate the credits to pay for it, let alone earn credits to get towards it. You know, so it's a useful grinder. But let's see what it's got. Let's take a look at the tune. We're actually going to put this on racing mediums, customizable, fully customizable suspension, which has not been changed from normal, fully customizable diff, which has been, so we've set that to 555. It tames down the car totally when you put that in. We've then got downforce at the rear, which is tuned to hit the PP to hit 590, 400 on the front. ECU's not been changed. The gearbox has been fettled just a tiny little bit. We're going to keep it at 330. There's no nitrous in this, and then with the brake control, we're going to put the brakes all the way to the rear. We've got a high RPM turbo and the increased body rigidity. Everything else, that's what you can do. There's nothing else for this car. You can't even put wings, etc, etc on, and you wouldn't want to change the wheels because they are just absolutely epic on this car. Let's get to the track and we arrive at Sardegna to run those 15 laps. It's a full field of GT3 cars. Got a total prize, what we're aiming for, of 787,000 credits with clean race bonus. The settings for today: race assist with traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off except for ASM on and counter steer assistance on strong. Controller settings: controller sensitivity 5, force max torque feedback 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. Now, the critical bits we need to know. We are grinding. You can see we've got 9.2 million credits up there. 4 or 5 days ago we started with 3.2 million credits. We've bought, personally, I think I've been through 10 cars. Not every car we try is suitable. You only see the ones that are suitable, so I've probably bought and paid for another 6 cars in there, and that totals about 12 million. So if I was doing exactly what I was doing in your shoes, finding a car that works, I'd probably be around 21 million now. We run the race a couple of times and try and earn some credits and just prove the car's right. Well, here we go, folks. Going to turn that down to fuel map 5. That's where we need to be. We might end up in fuel map 4, but let's check for that later. So, we're grinding. The key factors of this are to make sure we've got a car that's stable. It's going to perform the task correctly. It's going to allow us to get round the race incident free, nice and quickly. It's got to be stable, it's got to be drivable, it's got to be predictable, it's got to be comfortable. It can't take us by surprise. Well, how is this little car going to do? It's the Zonda R. It is an impeccable little machine, and I probably haven't said up to this time its name, but it is quite an unusual. Ooh, going to squeeze up that gap there. No, Mr. Cookabun wasn't going to let us. There's Mr. Gallo as well, so just gave us a squeeze on the braking zone. 458's just come through there really quickly in the mirror. Holy hell. Mr. Cookabun, see if we can take him on the knoll. We can. Third gear through there up to 13th place. Unlucky for some. Brake just before the 100 into 12th. The 2 BMWs are going to have a little bit of a contretemps as the Corvette C7 gives us a little bit of a reminder of where we are. We've got damage on the front now. That'll give us just a little bit of a problem around here. We're just going to have to dab the brakes, move out the way. Make way into the end of the first lap in 7th place. Now we're going to chase down Mr. Fraga, who looks to be out of position just a wee bit. Brake on the 150. Got to remember to brake on the 150. If you don't, you're going to be in that gravel. I'm the one to tell you that, because that's where I've been just a minute ago on lap 14, and I'm not going to put in a race where I've run off the track. We're good on fuel at this point. Lap 5. Fuel map 5. Lap time wise, a 1:41.226, and we're actually going to improve on that by the looks. As the fuel weight runs down, as the tyres come to us, we will just plunder this car all the way to the end. We'll just keep pushing. Brake on the 150. There's Mr. Fraga. As I say, he's running out of position. I'd expect to see him up in 2nd or 3rd place fighting with Mr. Beauvoir. Just have to see where he goes. I'm going to try and get him again. Oh, no, he slowed down. He braked just before the grassy knoll. He's not supposed to do that. That gave us significant front end damage. That was a bit naughty cheeky, Mr. Fraga. You should have rear end damage for that. You should be suffering big time. Just like I'm sweating. It's a bit hard here today. It's a bit hot. Here we go through. End the 2nd lap. We'd expect to lose that damage as we come through the start finish. It's gone off the front. It's gone off the left wheel. There we are. 1:38.6. I still anticipate being 2 seconds quicker than that. So catching up with Mr. Yamanaka, Mr. Fraga's teammate. We've got a couple of pairs of teammates in the race today. Nice little change down, got us through there and allowed us to use Mr. Yamanaka as a bit of a brake stop. Another purple. Don't raise the barriers, Widow. Keep it nice and straight. This car likes to use the barriers occasionally. It doesn't. It's just what happens. It doesn't like to turn at speed. But if you turn the wheel enough, it will. It will squeal and it will complain. It will tell you it doesn't like it. But if you really do turn that front wheels in, it will go round the corner a lot tighter than you anticipate it will. But if you want to... Oh, he's just braked at that point again. They're all braking there, aren't they? Got to be cautious of that. That's a learning thing for you or for me. Just watch them coming past the grassy knoll. We're catching Mr. Beauvoir now. We should be with him actually a little bit earlier than this. We've actually not made as much progress this lap as we intended, but we can see Portilla down there, 7.2 seconds ahead. There's a 1:36.8. That's not a bad lap. Let's see if we can improve on that. We've got the fuel. Fuel map 5 is pretty decent. We'll try and get to Beauvoir before he pits. That would not Beauvoir. Try and get to Mr. Portilla before he pits. Mr. Beauvoir is going to be relatively easy to get past. There we go, dispatched. But it's Portilla we're catching. It's Portilla we're racing. Purple again. We're not pitting in this lap, that's next time. So if we can go that little bit quicker here, I'm going to try and enter this next corner in 2nd gear. I'm going to brake on the 150, see if we can carry a bit more speed through. Just going to trust those front wheels to turn in. There we go, just carrying a bit more speed. It probably looked a bit messy. It felt a bit scrappy. We've got no car in front of us. Let's see if we can do this corner better. There we go, a little bit of power. Don't use the grass. There's Portilla. We've caught him almost. Just before his pits. See if we can come down to 1:36.5. That'd be nice. Portilla's in. That's us just 3 seconds back. There's a 136.3, so that's as good as we can expect after the first stint, one would suggest. We're going to get on and we're going to try and power through. Start to turn some laps, but this is a pit stop lap. We're going in at the end. Let's see if we can just bring on a purple here if we don't overrun the corner, which we did marginally. We know we've got fuel in hand. Almost 2/10 up. See what I mean by the car will let you turn it in if you oversteer it. You just force the car to do it. You've got plenty of tyre there that you can use and expose and burn through. But the way I drive, I can tend to save the front tyres quite a bit, and I don't push the car hard enough in the lower gears or the low speed corners. I could actually go up a gear and really start to drive the car hard. We'll go another 10th into the pink. Just be careful though coming around the grassy knoll. You can always end up in that barrier on the right hand side just by being overconfident and just carrying a bit too much speed in there, just like we did there. But this car will turn right a bit under braking as you come round a right hand curve, which you do there. So we're heading to the pits. We'll let this car blow through there. In we go. And we'll take the mediums and we'll grab a drink. 9.7 seconds in the lead over Beauvoir. The field behind us are all going to take to the pits, one would expect. We anticipate, if they all do as planned, we will come out and Portillo will be somewhere just behind us. We might have gone quickly enough just to give us the gap over Portillo. We might be going really well here. Is Solis and Bishop going to come in? We're on the way out. Solis and Bishop do come to the pit, so we're now pushing on. A 136.3. See if we can really push this car this stint. We're going to be free traffic this stint. There's going to be nobody ahead of us. Nobody on the road. Let's see if we can really pressure this car to show us what it's capable of. We are full of fuel. We've got plenty of fuel, and let's just give it its beans. Let it do what it does. It'll demonstrate its capability. Not entirely sure what kind of time we'll get as an out lap, but we won't be able to set a fastest lap of the race. But let's not hold that against it. Grassy Knoll is the next real time that we can identify with a mistake, so let's get round there. Third gear, stay on the brakes really late, open the steering wheel and drive through the corner. And if I come through there nice and quickly, normally I blow this corner. Got to brake just before the concrete on the right hand side, because there's a grey flat curb on the right hand side. If you can brake just before there, you'll ace that hairpin, that apex really quite well. Here we go then, 4.2 laps of fuel, we're good. The out lap with a 37.09. Let's see what we can put in this time. First gear just to hit the apex. Seconds in the lead. 0.6 of a second up. We could probably have pushed that. As soon as I pulled that 0.6, I sort of backed off in my head. I was doing the maths. Need to stop doing that. Need to just concentrate and get it on. Getting to be quite confident with this car now. Just starting to feel and understand where it wants to go. I have been having troubles with it. This is probably my 5th attempt. I've probably got a good 2 hours worth of video footage under my belt. And I shouldn't do. We're 17 seconds in the lead. I managed to brake just before that concrete. Let's see what kind of lap time we've got here. Is it going to be a 35? I think we can go as low as a 35.5 if we time it right. Just lost a little bit of speed through there. There's a 35.9, so that's into the 35s. I think we can do better. Car was surging under braking there. I was probably not slowing down in the right gears. 21 seconds in the lead, almost. Do we think we're going to be pink again at this point, or purple? We're red by 1/4 of a second. I think that was all down to turn 1 there. Let's see if we can make that up. It doesn't take much to make a 1/4 of a second, you know. It can do on time trials, but here it's not going to make that. We're getting lighter with fuel all the time, so we should be able to. Oh, we just clipped that apex, which bounced us away, which is going to be another 1/4 of a second. I think that's going to be half a second down. 0.36. So yeah, we're just starting to erode that time, which isn't great. Brake before the grey bit, came through there really quickly. Let's see if we can get this final corner right. 24.5 seconds in the lead. Here we go, back on the gas. Have we made up 0.36 of a second? Almost. Just over a 36. Let's see what we can do. We've got one more lap to do this in. This lap and then the next laps are in laps, so we kept it second there. That could be considered quicker. Mr. Paul Attila goes to the pits as we are now 30 seconds in the lead. Which is great. That feels good. That feels like this is a quick car, especially a quick car on fuel map 5. Izal went to the pits as well as Portilla, and they're falling their way down the leaders list. Doesn't feel like we're going to put in a seriously quick time this lap. It really doesn't. We're 0.4 down again, as the car was trying to fight me and put me into that right hand wall. We've got the fuel left. A 1:35.9, is that going to be the fastest? A 9.52, it's just outside. Can't say we haven't tried. As we push the car, it starts to slide. I'm trying to avoid that. Look at that, that was almost 5 laps with no traffic at all, so we were able to unhindered push the car all the way around the circuit for 4.5 laps. We'll probably get all the way around to near the end, which is great. We are pitting in. Beauvoir and Grady have gone to the pits this time. We're 46 seconds in the lead and pushing on. Blue flags now, aren't they? Which is the right thing. We're diving into the pits this time. We have 0.3 on the fuel, so we've got perfect fuel map. Fuel map 5 is where it's at. That's exactly where we want to be. Take the mediums. We're going to take all the fuel with 48 seconds in the lead. Mr. Portillo nowhere to be seen in the top leaders list. Looking at the people behind us, they are due to pit, but they won't be. By the time we exit here, we're going to try and create that gap again to the cars in front. But we are going to catch them this time round. Here we go, and away we go. 49 seconds in the lead, it says. We really did put in a really solid centre stint there. Middle stint, probably the better phrase. I know it's not as quick a car as a couple of the others we've used. I mean, if you think a 135, almost a 36 versus a 30 in one car and a 34 in another, this is not the rapidest of cars, but it's capable. And I think probably with a little bit more tuning, a little bit more front end grip that will allow it to power through. Maybe if you could tune the car so it could take the softs, maybe this would be able to turn a 133 or 132. Maybe. He actually stopped very quickly then. Makes me question whether I'm pressing the brake pedal all the way down, you know? Slid on me there, so 45 seconds in the lead. Not going to argue with that, it's a decent lead. I'd like to finish this race a minute up. That'll probably make it a better car than Mr. Tom Supra. So Beauvoir is second, Mendoza third, Ordonez fourth, Grady fifth. Coming out of the pits is Mr. Lopez, will break on the 150. Mr. Grady in sixth. Portillo has now shown himself on the leaderboard. He's been to sixth place. Yamanaka in seventh. Mr. Bishop there in eighth place as we go to 47 seconds in the lead. I don't know whether anybody else is going to pit now. And that we've just got to then push ourselves 3 more laps. We've got the fuel. Just want to make sure we run this home now, incident free. Mr. Inostroza in 19th place, just pushing on. Is he going to position himself as a nightmare competition? No, he does alright. He kind of got out of the way, but he didn't. We had to dance with the devil. The devil that is the knoll. 49.5 seconds in the lead. Really looking for the minute. The minute would be great. At the moment, we're only lapped up to 19th place. We've got 3 laps to get as far into the pack as we can. Making inroads here. Well, as we talk about it then, we've got a couple of laps to go. Let me talk about what this is like then. So this is probably my 5th attempt in this race. I don't find this the most stable car at all when you're pushing. It has a fine line between balance and capability, and it can go fast. I've crashed this on the 3rd lap, I've crashed it on the 12th lap, I've crashed it on the 14th lap. I've crashed it when I've put in a 35.5 lap time, and I've crashed it on the right hand side just as we go through the grassy knoll. I've really wrecked it, and I know this is a really capable grinder. If you're not looking to set lap times, if you're not looking to do anything, just roll laps, enjoy the time, get to know a car, this is the one for you. It is really capable, it really knows where to go, it really is quite the thing. If you oversteer in and out of corners, it'll tell you when it's on its edge, it'll tell you when it's on the limit. I don't think you can run it in any different map than fuel map 5. If you try and fuel map 4, it'll just run out of fuel and you'll have to back off. But you could probably short shift a little bit. You can't drop the turbo. The turbo really does help with the fuel economy. We know turbo cars are more efficient than NA cars in the whole. We have proved that in the past. They aid the combustion, don't they, by blowing in lots of cold air. And that increases the level of bang, doesn't it, for the amount of fuel put in, and that gives you the shock wave, the power, the punch that goes through the piston that pushes it down. But with that being the case, is Alan Rubillard just getting together, just forming a bit of an island for us. We're 1 minute 1 second up. That's us overtaking 12th place. There's Portilla. We don't often get to lap him, so that's an event for us. He's obviously got into traffic and run into difficulty. But we'll just open us up. We're trying to get to see if we can lap up to 8th place. That was where some of the faster cars got to. Here's Mr. Solis. We've got 1.3 laps of fuel, so that's absolutely fine. We haven't absolutely blown the cobwebs off the fastest lap. Here we go, final lap. I own it. I think it's a great little car. I think it will serve you well. I mean, it's not going to cost you a massive amount to set this car up once you've already bought it, and it will do the laps. It's an absolute beaut, but I don't think it's a real record setter. I don't think it will paint the town red. I think it will just do the job. Just like it did at Le Mans when we used it to conquer that track. And it's definitely worth the expense. I think it's a little cracker. So Mr. Grady went to the pits just then as we come round to lap Mr. Fraga. Is he going to leave us room? No, we're going to have to dispatch him accordingly. That's 8th place lapped, and he's going to come back and tap us on the rear. He's going to try. No drama on the tyres, no drama on the fuel. We've got everything in hand, and here we come down onto the final start finish straight. This will conclude the race. A decent little car, one to take future, and one to run quite a few laps and put some money into the bank. That's what we need. And there she is, first place. A 25.21, so a reasonable time, really good that. A 1:35.915 takes it up there into the top 3 or 4 cars. Yeah, very pleasurable car to drive. And with that one, we chuck some more money into the bank account. Does that take us to 10 million? Yes, it does. Just where we need to be. And you can see I've run the best part of 150 miles today to get that where it needs to be. But with that, folks, thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a car you want me to run around here that fits this shorter genre. But not that. I don't want to go to GR2s. Let's leave them for another race. Let's see where we can go. But thank you very much, folks. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.